Hear ye, hear ye. It's week 7 of the NFL season, and the Swolecast is here to give you your first look. You know, sometimes with the first look thing, you realize, hey, I messed up, and I need to do some things better. I should have drafted more Derrick Henry. I should have not taken as much Tennessee Titans as I did. And that's okay. It's a forward-looking show, and you can correct your best ball bags by honestly having good daily fantasy weeks. And that's what we're going to have this week. It's lucky number 7. It's going to be a good week. Totals on the show. We have everything we need. Let's do it. It's a Swolecast from RotoGrinders.com.
You David Static from the Swolecast? I was like, yep, that's me.
I just want you guys to know I'm total dust. I'm the problem.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Leave it to the guy with the crypto dunes, Abby, to not understand context.
I should have known you getting 30 likes was directly written by someone else.
You know me, I don't do a ton of research before the show.
I've put no research into this. Don't know if it's true at all.
You're on the right show.
To it, bro. Live a little.
Live a little.
Just live a little, guys.
All right, welcome in. It's a Swolecast week 7. David Kitchen here alongside Mr. Total 05, Davis Maddock, and Mr. Peter Overzet. I just want to recognize Tuttle in the chat. Listen, Tuttle, thank you. Like, honestly, thank you for making time to be with us this week.
Dave, I want to thank you for making me feel at home with the broken audio intro. It's like I never left.
Did my audio break?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I think it's fixed now, but there was something happening with your audio in the cold open.
I think it's a StreamYard thing. People have been telling me similar issues at the top of my shows lately. So, Kitchen, you might be off the hook.
I mean, how fitting, though, for Dan to return on a day when his franchise's greatest quarterback and his franchise's, I'm going to give second greatest wide receiver because I'm a Jordy Nelson truther, reunited.
You're not going to say Jeff Janis third?
Oh, shit. Good bit. They mentioned Jeff Janis on the broadcast last night.
I saw that.
I fell asleep, but I did catch a couple mentions. Dan, how mad are Garrett Wilson fantasy owners going to be at Alan Lazard now that Devontae Adams is on the team? Like, what is the cope level going to be like when Garrett Wilson has a 16% target share on this team?
It's going to be high. I don't know. It's a bad trade, right? Well, not a bad trade compensation-wise because they barely gave anything up. But, like, it doesn't do anything to the team.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing I thought of is the New York Jets are, you know, that gif that everyone tweets from Indiana Jones where the guy has the sword and then Indy just shoots him. The Jets are the guy with the sword and the rest of the AFC is Indiana Jones with the gun. It's like, you guys can do all this stuff. You can sign all these players, Hassan Reddick, Devontae Adams, and you're going to lose 10-24 in the divisional round. So just enjoy that until then.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's going to be special. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm jazzed right now.
Kitchen. We get the normie view of the the trade.
Did you see that small window? It was like a no window throw last night.
Having Kitchen on the show is like having a For You page on the Swolecast.
If their offensive line can hold up, Brees looked good. He has chemistry with Devontae Adams. Yeah, if you're Garrett Wilson owner, you know, RIP your bags. But I think the Jets offense just got a lot better.
It did, but I mean, their run defense last night was just getting gashed. Like, I thought that was supposed to be the whole selling point. It's like, oh, they're just fixing their offense away. And then it's like, well, now the leak is on the front end there.
They might need Hassan Reddick. Ray Davis just exploded.
Wait, Russell Wilson starting this week?
He's getting first-team reps in practice. Everyone calm down. Calm down.
Pelissero saying in line to start.
Yeah. Rappaport. They're getting ready to start.
David Kitchen's Russell Wilson, Justin Fields teams on DraftKings have never been more bad.
Dude, they're gonna lose the locker room. Like they're rolling with Fields. Everyone loves Fields, and then you're gonna put Russ in there. Good luck with that.
This is like, I thought that Russ would eventually start, but after Justin Fields like lost a game, like
bad
after he
game.
looked bad once, yeah.
Yeah. Like, how do you not wait for, because Justin Fields will give you one of those games where he has 2 interceptions, and then it's like, okay, we had our excuse. But to do it after this is wild.
If there's one guy, one coach that could like pull this off, it'd be Tomlin, though, right? Like he has the respect of everybody. Like I don't think he's going to lose the locker room. Now, if it was someone like Brian Callahan, yeah, he'd lose the locker room. I'm so out on Callie. So out.
Isn't it really all just Will Levis's fault? Is it like, isn't it all just?
No, it's not. Callahan punted on 4th and 6. It was like the surrender index was like 94% cowardly.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to tell me. Like I see that one thing and I'm out. Nildy says kitchen BBM bag is going up. Yes, I did increase
Let me check the chain.
A few more
this was the better, more apropos comment. The percentage of Steeler players that want Russ to start is lower than Kitchen's advance rate.
But here's the thing. Let's not
Kitchen's
advance
up to
rate
4
shame.
out of 57.
Let's not advance rate shame on the show. I might advance the same raw number of teams as David Kitchen, so let's not. By the way, a good bit every is.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
We check Soccer Dave's teams on my stream every week, and then we also check your one team, and it is a really.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the tides are turning. It's well. For this guy with Cooper coming back, Malik Neighbors hopefully is going to be playing again. Got tons of Justin Jefferson out there. Vikings offense just rolling. I'm going to advance at least 6 teams. Calling it now. And that's honestly that's normal,
Kitchen's in a tough spot because it's like he can't decide whether saying the percentage or the raw number is the better route to go, going 4 or 7%. Like it's tough. Which one do you go with there?
Either way, right now,
2 weeks ago.
Even knowing Dave's portfolio is dustier than mine, I just think I'm destined to have sun run in the summer, but then the real results go against me. I honestly, at this point, I'm wondering, would just be a good bit if I advance 0 teams, just 0 teams of 150.
Really good
What are your guys' advance rates?
I'm 4 out of 57 right now.
I don't know the number. I think I'm
guys feel
6%. I think I'm 6%.
I got 18 best ball mania tickets from DraftKings, and I'm advancing 3, and I auto drafted half those. So
there you go.
I have more than double the teams of Davis and Kitchen combined total.
Well, we got to throw you out. You're the outlier. You're like posting weekly screenshots from Underdog and everything.
Yeah.
You're way too sharp for us now, I think.
Everyone was talking about Davis's look-ier, and I was just trying to hide in the shadows there.
All right. Let's move on though. We got to look ahead. That's what we do for the people. Again, this is a first look show. Want to shout out Jason Davenport last week on our video. He said, "Thank you for another good show, guys. Been a hectic couple of weeks here in Florida. Watching this a little extra late, but always nice to be able to tune in. Keep it up." Thanks, Jason, and all of our people out in Florida. And with that being said, let's do it. Let's go ahead and get Peter Overzet's overview.
Got that dog in her butt. Got that dog in her butt. Overzet overview. Come on.
All right. The first look Swolecast lineup entered into the week 6 game day greatness presented by DoorDash series scored 105.02 points, which was just 87 points off the gift card cash line. Really nice double stack there. Snowflake from Trey Tucker. Great work all around by us.
Didn't we have an injured guy in the lineup?
I don't think so. I think we got the global swap in early. I think was it Neighbors? And then we got him out. No, Neighbors wasn't on the main.
It was
slate.
someone who was questionable, and I said that they were going to play, but if they don't play, I announced the global swap at the time. But that was a long time ago.
I also said
it was Pittman. It was Pittman.
Yes.
I also said Scary Terry, and Davis poo-pooed that. So
hey, let's come together here. We are going to get our mojo back today because last week our very own Romeo Dobbs, who served a 1-game suspension after demanding more time on the mic, is back. Mr. Tuttle 05. And like Dobbs, he's going to ball out this week. Tuttle, we're going to get you the rock today. I know you've been upset with your role on the show, and I just want you to know we're going to let you cook today, bud.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Pete.
Before we move on to the, previewing some of the games, let's check out David Kitchen's Twitter account, where last night he added the NFL officiating account and then retweeted his own post. What was going on with that, Kitchen?
I retweeted it after another terrible flag. That was just instead of saying retweet, I just retweeted it. You had to actually watch the game, basically. Because
that's sad scenes right there.
So it went from 0 retweets and 8 likes up to 9 likes.
The only thing sadder than my advance rate is David Kitchen retweeting himself, adding the NFL.
No, it was just because these calls were so bad. It was another terrible call. I'm sorry. I'm over these officials. I'm over it.
Pierre Tart made a big play this week, Dave. I don't know if you saw that.
Who's he play for? The Dolphins?
I have no idea.
Oh. Dave, the 2 worst quarterbacks in the league are Will Levis and Deshaun Watson. Congrats on that, buddy.
Thank you.
I
saw that Kevin Cole graphic.
Yeah, that was a great one there. She should just put David Kitchen watermark on that one. Davis, Dylan Laube fumbled on his first ever carry. Congrats on that.
Dude, it's so bad.
The fantasy gods saw just the slightest smile come across Davis's face on Sunday night after a Chase Brown TD and immediately restored balance by making Dontavian Wicks week to week with a shoulder sprain.
That's an IR, right? That's like lock IR.
But I did think of a silver lining, Davis, because we drafted him in our main event, then cut him, then he was good. Now he's hurt in a drop again. I do think we pick him back up now when someone throws him on the waiver. We do get Wicks back.
There we go.
Nate Noling from the Gilcast had a near bink this week in the SPY. I've been running hot on the Dog app, and I think really the commonality here is Davis is the kingmaker. Who will benefit this week from Davis's aura? Will it be Neil Orfield? Will it be Jacob Sanderson?
Could be
Kareem. David Kitchen. It won't be David Kitchen because his powers can only extend so far.
No. Sure.
I loved that. The Gilcast this week was very good. I do have a programming note here, though, for the Swolecast. 3 weeks from now, we will not be hosting the Week 10 First Look DFS show, but rather a 2024 election First Look show. Yeah, Dan Bach actually said with Tuesday falling on election day, we're going to go live for 12 straight hours of wall-to-wall coverage. And this is the real treat. Davis and Kitchen have agreed to a debate that will be moderated by me and fact-checked by Tuttle. And yes, Kitchen, it will be fact-checked. So
She's going to be big mad.
Look forward to that. When I did see that on the calendar, I was like, oh God. I mean, us doing a 4-day early First Look show on election day is going to be great. All right. Week 7 slate. Commanders Panthers has a 52-point total. That's Joe Biden's America for you right there. Falcons Seahawks could be hot, 50.5 total. Vikings Lions, 49.5 total. That'll be what we wanted Cowboys Lions to be last week. Packers Texans looks good. And the 49ers versus the Fighting Jujus and Kareem Hunts, I guess, is fine too. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, I would just say that this week is going to be my week. I just have a feeling it's going to be my week. So, like a good neighbor, Davis is there.
I should add that was Davis's clip last week. We gotta circle back to that. That clip was incredible. So
it was great. People loved it. We got probably more comments last week. Also, I learned what the kids call a crash out, what they call a crash out, what that is. Did not know what that was. So
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is either.
Crash out means basically that you vent, you tilt, and you just basically crash out. And that's what Davis did.
Well, the great thing is things just, really looked up after that. That was the thing is my best ball teams did so much better too after that. So that was really good.
All right. This week, Peter, I did notice you left out like we got a couple of things and a couple of downs and like
What?
usually
Football-
like
the
you
football
usually
is
give
really
like a little
secondary.
football thing at the end of your overview.
I just ran through the 5 games that I liked.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to quarterbacks.
If you just want me to do a 60-minute monologue for the entire
like
show,
I just want a little, a little bit of weather, a little bit more, just your life.
I think weather is off topic for us these days, probably even dicier to get into than political stuff. And it's a first look show, Dave. I literally haven't looked at a single one of these salaries. So what am I supposed to do in the Overzet's overview if I haven't even looked at it?
Same. Let's talk about quarterbacks, Davis.
I mean, it's really quite the week. Jaden Daniels is the most expensive quarterback. Josh Allen, I think, is in the Mahomes zone of his reputation, and his salary far precede his ability to generate fantasy points because his offense is not interested in generating fantasy points for him. All the Bills want to do is run the ball, play good defense, check it down, and get out of there. Like the Bills somehow, without ever winning a conference championship, have decided that they want to play like the 2008 Patriots. It's sort of unbelievable. But we have Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. That is a really interesting spot. Lane Johnson told the media last week that the Eagles' offense is constipated, and I couldn't agree more. If like
Good description.
AJ Brown is the only one doing anything there.
Gosh, that catch he made was so sick.
He's so unbelievably good. But Hurts, AJ Brown, Hurts Smith, Hurts Calcaterra, huge leverage spots this week because Saquon is priced at $8,200 in a week where I'm expecting a good bit of value. There are like multiple spots where it could come from, whether it be from James Cook missing again, Jordan Mason missing, Devin A-Chain missing, Aaron Jones missing. We have $4,000 Juju Smith-Schuster, so you can get Barkley, which means that like we could be looking at like a 4% owned Jalen Hurts, I think, in small field stuff, which is pretty interesting.
Do we have Dallas Goedert news? Is he going to be out for a while?
Basically, when I hear hamstring now, I'm imagining that the guy is in like the intensive care unit. Like not only are they on IR, but like it might be life threatening when I hear hamstring these days. So
not to flash forward to tight end, but Calcaterra has a little juice, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like he looks kind of good.
He looks like Dallas Goedert out there. Like I mean,
do you guys want to know the lore on Calcaterra? Is that the right place for the show? So yeah, Calcaterra, in a different life, was the #1 overall prospect at tight end when he graduated high school. He went to the University of Oklahoma. He was supposed to be like a 3rd-round pick. He had 3 concussions in like 2 months and medically retired, then medically unretired and went to SMU. And I believe led them in receiving. Maybe he was 2nd on the team in receiving, but like he was like 24. His stock had way fallen down, and has been the backup tight end on the Eagles for 2 seasons. And I mean, I think he profiles as like a pretty strong option this week because I believe Jack Stoll ran 3 routes last week. Like it's all Calcaterra for the routes.
All right, let's get back to quarterback though. Patrick Mahomes coming off a bye week is $7,000.
Yeah, maybe if we get Mahomes to like 5,500, maybe
against San Fran, could be a high scoring game. This is
playable at that price.
This is when you want to play him though.
Mahomes has not had a 20-point game. He hasn't had a 25-point game since like week 9 or something of last year. I mean,
But Davis, is he capable of it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
that's what we're looking for.
The moment the Chiefs decide they want to do stuff again, they can. They just don't want to. They don't want to. And no one's going to make them. They're 5-0. They're going to win this game.
Let me ask you this, Kitchen, because conventional wisdom, when you play one of these pocket passers in DFS, right, you want to double stack them, right? Like Mahomes gives you a little rushing, but not enough to like really play him that way. How are you playing Patrick Mahomes in a tournament?
It's Kelsey.
Listen,
Kelsey. That's easy.
I grew up in middle.
That's actually a really easy question.
I grew up a middle class kid.
Kitchen's making it a hard one, so just let him go.
Let him raised by a hardworking mother. So
let him pull out some Justin Watson takes.
Just saying.
Where are you going
Juju.
with this, Kitchen?
It's
Are
Juju.
you guys ready for Juju Smith-Schuster to be the most owned wide receiver of
Yeah.
a daily fantasy sports slate in the year of our Lord 2024?
I don't know if I don't know if he's going to be.
It's a shame DraftKings didn't have a bye week where they could have priced him up.
It's David, it's a Tuesday, so this will probably change, but as of right now, he is the number 1 points per dollar guy on the entirety of the slate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
chalk Juju, expensive Mahomes, $6,300 Kelsey. Just sounds like a miserable time to me.
okay.
Sorry, Kitchen. That's
No.
where I'm at.
All right.
The better move is to just say the Chiefs do their thing, they win this game, but it forces or finally the 49ers convert some of the red zone looks. Purdy throws 4 touchdowns. You play Purdy.
You play Kelsey over Juju.
There you go. Just play one off Kelsey.
Here's your galaxy brain / coping for my best ball bags. Rookie wide receiver coming off the bye. They really need him. Xavier Worthy. I don't even really believe it, but
Who has the post buy numbers? What's the spike? What's the supposed spike?
rookie wide receivers coming off the bye can find a bigger role. Oh, Andy Reid has the most insane against the spread record of all time off a bye week is the thing.
All right. Can we talk about good quarterback plays?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, the conversation has to
yours.
start with Jaden Daniels, right? Highest total game of the week, absolutely on fire, awful Carolina secondary. I guess the concern is they just have so much success running that he doesn't have to air it out a bunch because he's already not throwing a ton. Anyone want to poke holes in Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I don't want to play Jaden Daniels. I don't want to play Jaden Daniels because he's the most expensive guy. He will also be chalk. You also have to McLaurin off the 2 touchdown week is going to be I assume far and away. Is that going to be the most common combinatorial pairing of the slate? Daniels and McLaurin, if not would definitely be one of the top 5. I mean, it's really gross, but I would definitely prefer to pair him with Ertz if I was doing it.
Tuttle, what do you think about Jaden?
Strong play. Expensive, obviously, like you guys said. I don't know. I was kind of attracted to. I think there's the mid range has a ton of options too. Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, 2 really
Kirk
good
Cousins.
options. Cousins, Geno in that game is even cheaper. Geno is super cheap. I don't know. They haven't looked great, but
let me give you another name. Sam Darnold.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
decent enough.
Coming off.
I thought you were going to spit the 4,900 Deshaun Watson there.
No, I'm just Darnold coming off a bye week. The Lions don't have Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to have all day to throw. I mean, it's going to be a big game, high scoring game.
God, if we could get one, can we just get 139 pass attempt Sam Darnold game to nuke the Justin Jefferson faders into orbit? Sam Darnold is maxed out at 28 pass attempts this year. Can I please get one?
This would be the game, right?
This is the spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I hope you're right. No one could run against the Lions. Apparently the Dallas Cowboys also can't pass against the Lions. That was really something last week. Just watching them, they unable to generate 3 yards.
Here we go.
I think you can make the same argument for Goff too, right? They just haven't gotten pushed in a way they've had to throw a ton. There's some very fun outcomes for Lions in a negative game script.
The only thing about the Lions is that their run game just really frustrates you.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's a Mahomes a Mahomes Allen level guy who has done nothing. CJ Stroud. The interesting thing about Stroud is their target tree really narrowly condensed with Nico out. I was doing a little bit of look at their games last week. They played a third tackle on 24% of their snaps last week. Like they were just like, we are running the gosh darned football. Only 2 receivers saw more than 50% of the snaps. It was Diggs and Dell. You can do Stroud, Diggs, Dell, Stroud, Diggs, Schultz. Schultz had 8 targets last week. He had his highest target share of the year. And you can do, take your pick of Dobbs, Reed, Watson as the bring back.
Yeah. The other one that's like the arbitrage, Goff, Darnold, is Kirk and Geno. Because I think that game could be. I mean, the Falcons and the Seahawks are like 2 presidents of the we never play a normal game fan club. And it could be a really gross game, or it could just be one of those nutty ones where 60+ points are scored.
Have you considered it's in a dome? So I think that's like a 20% boost in projection.
Oh my God! What does Cardi have Drake London projected for this week? Over
not for these guys.
19 targets.
Yeah, I was gonna say over under 25 points for Drake London in the blitz this week. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a sweat. Is there a good vomit stack this week? Flacco, if Richardson doesn't play. Richardson, by the way, is like such a super secret play. If Jonathan Taylor does not play, like my God, against this Miami Dolphins team, this vomit Dolphins team, he could have like 4 rushing touchdowns. Like he could go like super nuke.
I would say Burrow would be a guy.
He's not a vomit.
Yeah,
not vomit.
There's no vomit there.
Not vomiting for Burrow.
Yeah, let's see. Vomit. Could you do Daniel Jones versus this Eagles secondary?
Jones neighbors.
Theo?
Yeah, you can do Theo.
Wandale, I fear, is simply unplayable at these salary levels. Like Wandale, if he was $4,200, send it. Like Wandale to get to 20 DraftKings points might have to get 13 receptions.
It was a shock to my system to see him. He was like 86 or 8,800 on the showdown. That was just a shock.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Wandale's the GOAT. But
Yeah, he's been, yeah.
No Watson this week, Dave. You're done. You're over it.
We opened up the door for him like numerous times here, and he hasn't taken the bait.
No, I'm done with him. Like this is Jameis's team after this week. It's got to be right. Like he is
That's
his
the sign to jump on. Play that's the sign to play all the Watson this week right there.
Do you think they're organizationally they're thinking Nick Chubb's return could buy us even an extra couple of weeks on delaying this? Like they're trying to throw everything.
For sure.
They didn't want to bench him until they got Nick Chubb back in the offense. It very clearly seems like that was the case.
I think my new working theory is they want him to play so bad that he considers retiring. That's my new working theory.
If you did play Watson, the guy you'd pair him with is Njoku.
Yeah.
He got a ton of targets. Just they got to be a little bit better.
I think it's fine to play one-off Browns. Like you can do your Njoku Amar. You just can't touch Watson.
Gosh, they hate him so much. Which you understand. Let's make a lineup though, and Pete, I'll let you tell us where we're going to put this lineup, and then Tuttle. Listen, you're going to be the guest of honor, and have first pick. Decide where this lineup is going. Appreciate it, Dave.
I love Tuttle learning the salaries on air while editing UEFA Nations.
Well,
I actually looked ahead.
I've already drafted 30 battle royales. I'm already like take locked for this slate.
Like Juju
I bet you were looking to try to figure out which 4 of the Kennesaw State QBs were going to play tonight, Davis, or if Goose Crowder was going to be available for Troy.
People do want the Tuttle picks. Those are often gold when it comes to college football.
To answer your question, Kitchen, we are putting this in the Game Day Greatness presented by DoorDash series on DraftKings.
Okay. Tuttle?
I'm not even going to stack. I'm just going to take the QB. We're going Geno in the dome.
Oh, dude, we are aligned because my pick was going to be DK. Can
we do PPR scam JSN instead? I don't
David
care.
has to pick the order of who picks, and then we'll see you fight it out.
Oh.
We could double. I'm okay.
I think you double
here.
Gino. Doubling Gino's fine, and Noah Fant does nothing. I'm fine with that.
Hey, Noah Fant was like 8 for 80
He's-
last week.
Yeah, he's consistent.
Yeah, it's the only. So let's go with Pete.
TK Metcalf.
Okay. And I only said that because I've got so much JSN already in my best ball bags and very little DK Metcalf.
I was going to say, pretty easy to see why Pete's winning money this year, and I'm not, when my first instinct with Gino is to take the guy who's all promise, no production. And Pete's like, I'm just going to take the guy who gets 100 yards and a tud every week.
It's like when I say I'm really scared of this one guy, and it was Alvin Kamara, not having any of him, and then him being like the guy that you need. Yeah. That happens. All right, Davis.
I will take. What does Kareem Hunt cost? Yeah, I'll take Kareem Hunt.
Good pick.
$6,000 on 6,000 Kalish bucks.
We can also just mention this for the people who are watching this on a Friday or Saturday. The amount of things that are going to change this week with so many injury dominoes is going to be hilarious when you watch back this lineup we're building right now.
So just lock it in. Don't overthink it. This is
this is
don't
the cash
react to injury news at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's my turn. Boy, I'll go ahead and take Njoku at tight end.
I don't know if that's the direction I want to win this week, but have at it, brother.
He's a good play.
He is a cromulent play. I'm not going to give him good.
Who is it back to Tuttle?
In the chat that always references Davis's use of the word cromulent is always entertaining to me.
The funny thing about it is no one knows where it comes from. Like Ben Solak has been saying it on ESPN, and people think he's stealing it from me, not realizing where it comes from, which is also a good bit.
So you can tell us where it comes from?
You don't know where it comes from?
We've done this a million times. It's from The Simpsons.
Dave, it's from The Simpsons, Dave. Let's move on. All right.
Let's move on, Dave. Yeah, it's my turn. This is gonna be. I just saw this name. This is a pretty random pick. It's a good pick, but it's random. Jahmyr Gibbs.
I don't think that's random. I like that.
He will not be owned this week at all.
Will David Montgomery let him get a touchdown? That's another question, but hopefully he gets a little touchdown variance.
Like he's going to get the long ones, right? Like if he's.
I like playing off a Tuttle. We're just like two jazz musicians. He gives me a little note with Gino.
Riffing.
I toss in DK. He gets Gibbs, and I say, you know what? We're going to go with a little teammate correlation here, and we're going to go with Jameson Williams paired with Gibbs, the big play specialist in that game.
I got to be honest, Pete. I hate that pairing. I think they're both
bad, Pete.
They're both competing for long tuds. It kind of like limits the total
getting
number
long
of
touchdowns slows the games down.
No, it speeds it up. It limits the amount of possessions that the other one can be.
Okay, so we don't want our guys scoring long touchdowns because we're not going to get as many possessions.
No, on DraftKings, you really want the PPR scam.
Honestly, I want the guys who score 80-yard touchdowns. That's me. You can have JSN.
Again, more evidence for why Pete is winning this year and why I'm like, no, but my sim ROI on these lineups are really good. Like, look at my sim ROI. The sims say I should be winning.
Pete's just riffing here. I like it. The initial reaction, I was more with Davis and Dave here, but you can't deny the riff. You just go with the feeling.
I guess my thing is like you're gonna have to bring it back.
No, you don't. If you want to get into the Sims discussion, the Sims are littered with teammate pairings as secondary stacks. Like that, you run any kind of set that grades out well, you get secondary teammate stacks that don't force the bring back.
100% correct. Yeah. You famously will get quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and DSP pairings.
Shout out Nate Nolan.
Davis.
Unbelievable for that to work out for him in the hit. I was gonna make this difficult on the finisher of this lineup, but I'm actually just gonna take the layup. I'm gonna take doo-doo shit poopster for 4,000 Kalish dollars.
So Davis is riffing with himself on Kareem Hunt and Juju there.
No, so those are actually
those guys aren't going to speed up the game, Davis.
No, that's the thing. Every time Juju gets a catch for 4 yards, that leads to a 3-yard Kareem Hunt carry. It's perfect symbiosis.
Yeah.
You could get like 14 points from those guys in a field goal drive.
Love a good min cash by 1,000 cuts play right there.
I'm doing anything I can, Peter.
All right.
You know,
I actually kind of like this team.
tear your arm off for a minute.
We got some team stacks, no bringbacks. We're rolling here.
So
the sim
I want to save a little money and give potentially some flexibility here. The Titans defense is the lowest priced defense.
Dave, they are nutted. They are a great defensive play this week
against Josh Allen.
That leaves us Kyron. Easy.
Yeah. This guy is all right. 2,300 though for Titans defense. They can force turnovers. They can get sacks, and we know Josh Allen's basically just Will Levis on steroids when it comes to
the Titans defense is almost certainly the play of the week at defense.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the best lineups we've ever made on this show.
I was going to say this is really good. You actually probably can lock this in.
Can I counter AJB over Kyron though?
I would love that.
Yes,
would love it. Yeah,
Pete, are we feeling that or no?
Oh,
I mean,
it looks like the band broke up.
I mean, I ain't riffing no more. I'm gonna do a solo tour.
This is how the band breaks up.
Sell me on AJ Brown over Kyron here.
I mean, he's a grown ass man.
Come on.
That's the actual selling point.
Right.
His results this year, he's played 2 games, 6 for 119 and 1, 6 for 116 and 1. So you pretty much know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Wasn't Quorum actually starting to get more carries in pre-buy?
No, he just took the River stuff. He did get 1 touch in the red zone where he almost scored, and then they gave it to Kyron.
You also have Cup coming back that could eat into
no,
like
fake sharp take.
You don't think that Cup's coming back?
No, if Cup comes back, it's better.
Good. That's good. You want the offense.
You want more first downs.
Okay.
I also this age is bad. I don't think there's any way Cup plays this week. I think he's moving in the right direction. I don't think he plays this week.
I hope
you're not taking him in BR, dude.
The report yesterday was he had a good workout. He hasn't even practiced yet.
He just had a good chest day. He just benched 225.
He's trending. He's trending that way. They just like flat out said like Puka's not going to be like activated off the IR or whatever. And they at least gave us some hope when it comes to Cooper. All right, running backs.
I've heard of them.
We gotta have some sharp takes when it comes to running backs.
Have you guys heard that Saquon Barkley might have revenge in his soul? Has anybody considered that?
Do you guys think that moves Barkley from being like an 8% owned play to like a 15% owned play? Because honestly, yes. I do. I definitely
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Does that make Jordan Mason, Ken Walker, Joe Mixon, Bijan? Does that make them like way better plays as the expensive running backs because they get discounted?
Kenneth Walker is a man. I mean,
yeah. It'd be nice if they ever gave him the ball, but I do agree he is a man.
Here's the real question. I think I know what the answer is. A resounding yes. Is Nick Sirianni a type of coach who will encourage the revenge?
Hundo P. Yeah.
The guy who was chirping at Browns fans in the stands last week. Yeah, he strikes me as someone who would appreciate a good dose of revenge.
Now, let me give you guys a better question. Jordan Mason doesn't play. Jordan Mason's ruled out. And he's ruled out early where it gives us enough time to react to content. Like, there's such a difference between a play that becomes a play on Saturday versus a play that becomes a play on Thursday because of how people do fantasy content. How owned does Gurendo get?
Not a ton at that. At 6,600.
Too high, yeah.
Yeah.
If he was 1,000 cheaper, but doesn't that price tag, that's pretty outrageous, right? For Guerrero.
Yeah, it's too high. It didn't. I think the snap counts back this up, but don't. So like every guy they've treated, Jordan Mason after C-Mac, they've treated like complete bell cow. That was not the feeling with Guerrero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spellcheck was playing third downs. Debo got, I think, 8 backfield snaps. But the big thing that would suck with Guerrero is maybe they let Guerrero do all the stuff between the 20s, but then they get to the 13-yard line and Debo is the halfback in the red zone.
6,600. Yeah, I agree with the Debo take.
And apologies to be the DVP pro here too, but the Chiefs have been awesome against opposing running backs too. It's not like it's a great matchup.
Lock button this guy. I'm not saying it because I have so much of him in best ball. I'm not saying it because he plays for the team I cheer for. But Tony Pollard at 6,300.
It's just like,
Yeah.
I know you're only pumping your own bags, but he is like an unbelievably good player.
There is no other option.
Miss, right?
He is the bell cow. Like Tajay is not going to be playing for a few weeks, I think. He is the bell cow. They're not throwing it down the field. They're throwing a ton of screens. Pollard's going to be the beneficiary.
And he's healthy. Like he looks fully recovered.
He looks like 2 years ago Pollard.
That 3rd and 19 touchdown run, dude. I mean,
dude, that was
that was vintage Tony P.
All right. Bijan only 7,100.
Bijan feels like trap chasing.
He's Jahmyr Gibbs on the Falcons.
Yeah.
He waited for a non-prime time slate to do well.
And boy.
Well, let me tell you the skeleton key. Whoever gets there whoever kind of gets the lead in Carolina, Washington. If Hubbard's playing from ahead, Hubbard will be the skelly key. If the Commanders play from ahead, B-Rob is the skelly key. It's really that simple.
What were the Miles Sanders? Because I thought last week that Sanders played more than
he played like 13 snaps, and he doesn't even play all the long down and distance anymore.
Yeah, but he does play third down stuff. I guess that was
Chuba's role is insane. It's so good. The Sanders isn't an issue for him. I mean, he had 18 rush attempts, 6 targets. Like that's top 5 running back usage.
I can look it up right now on the utilization report on fantasylife.com.
Just
literally one of my favorite tabs.
Why you do that?
2
Clay
weeks.
said boots on the ground review. It was insane how often Bijan was on the sidelines when the Falcons were down in the red area. So
he did score twice.
Yeah.
They did. If you want to get into narrative street, they did very obviously try to get Algier to 100 yards, and they did not care that Bijan was stuck at 95 yards. If anyone cares about stuff like that.
Okay. Chase Brown.
It's a little bit of fancy play, but yeah, I mean, the reckoning done been reckoned.
It looks like it's a Chase Brown show. I mean, we kind of talked about it last week. He just looks so much better.
The thing is Chase Brown can survive a fumble or a whiffed pass block because you almost kind of expect that from him, and he's on the field to provide explosives. Zach Moss cannot survive a fumble because he's literally only on the field to not make mistakes. And if you are the mistake-free back and you make a mistake, we're going to see this with Singletary and Tracy too, where that offense is so bad, so stuck in the mud, that even if Devin Singletary is basically Brian Dable's child, you just are in such a tough spot that you need a guy who can add random 20-yard plays. Like, reliability only gets you so far.
Man, Tracy looks so good on Sunday night. God, I haven't felt that way watching a Giants back since David Wilson, with all due respect to Saquon Barkley. I mean, Tracy's electric.
Tuttle, you're about to say something, and then you got cut off by Pete.
I was just gonna ask if it's the random 3 touchdown week for Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, this is why the running back situation. You've got all these banged up running backs. I was also going to mention the Vikings situation. Like if Aaron Jones is still out,
A-Chain is back at practice, which is
Yeah, I don't think that matters though, really.
I
We've
think it
seen
does.
Mostert ceiling before.
I just
The
can't
use-
play most. The only guy I'm playing probably is Tyreek if I'm playing anybody this week.
No,
I'm just literally writing
A-Chain,
down when Dave has a negative reaction to the pick. I just write it down.
They just cannot move the ball. Like they have no.
I mean, that's valid, obviously, but yeah.
Huddle, on that note, yesterday I saw Settleman post that he made the biggest money line bet of his life, and I immediately went and oppo bet the Bills, and it was a very fun sweat for me last night.
Do we have any insider NBA takes coming up?
No.
I don't know. I haven't seen
know.
any yet.
yeah, dude, he didn't report the Karl Anthony Towns trade. I mean, he's slipping.
Do you know our buddy Jacob Rickroad favorited a tweet that was made that I made it back in July, and it was in response to Kyle Dvorak saying, "This is DraftKings, buddy. You get a full point for a reception. Your WR3 is going to be Van Jefferson," and then he screenshotted my take. He didn't even add me. He screenshotted my take of or my draft of Derrick Henry and Achane in the second and third round next to Jefferson. So the fact that Rick Road went back and favorited that,
Rick Road is an earthworm, dude. Just like don't pay him any money.
He's a fan of the show.
Yeah, he's a fan of the show.
So I have him blocked and he has me blocked, so I don't have to deal with him
Davis,
anymore.
you don't need to do that.
But
that's the point of
This
doing
was
that.
the most
Have each
random
other
tangent for Dave to bring up out
But-
of nowhere.
But a bunch of people have sent me his tweets. He apparently was anti Justin Jefferson this year. He had multiple like Jefferson's going to be bad for fantasy tweets. So that's the only take I know of his this year.
People sent you that? Do you mean you went on your alt account and saw what his takes were?
No, actually,
Incognito browser.
Evan Silva sent it to me in our group chat that
Silva sending you Rick Road screenshots is a great bit. Hey Davis, you got to check this out.
No wonder we only get a 500-word matchup column these days.
All right, wide receiver. We got to giddy up and go here. Who are some of the guys that you just do not want to leave out of your lineup, Davis?
I mean, Debo is the play of the slate, I think.
Where do you like your ideas?
Is he the play of the slate if London is less expensive? I mean, they're right there. London or Debo, you can only have
Dude,
one.
Davis, every one of your takes has defaulted to the PPR merchant side of things today. Like every single one. You even just went away from your guy Debo.
Dude,
for
I'm
Drake
playing.
London's
It took you a half
targets.
second to say he's the play of the slate too. Is he the play of the slate? Like
It's dude, I'm running cold, man. I just look at my best ball. The thing is I'm looking at my best ball teams and like they're a lot in like third place, and I'm like, I just know these aren't going to get there. I just know they're not going to get there. I mean, London on DraftKings.com is probably an $8,000 player in this role. Like he has a 28% target share. He's getting red zone stuff. Like they're like he had 2 touchdowns and he almost had a third. Like Cousins is like force feeding him the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, double-digit targets the past 3 weeks. I'll go ahead and I know he's 8,500, but that's the thing about this season is like the wide receivers aren't the top guys aren't being priced to the range we've seen, like the 10K, 9K, 9.5,
9,200 Tyreek Hills.
Right. Like Justin Jefferson at 8,500 in this game just feels like he is a guy you need to include in there. Or
League I'm just looking at prices. League at 5,100. He is going to flip in Deontay.
I don't think so.
No way, Davis.
No.
And not going to flip at him in target share. He's going to flip at him in points 1 week. Like 1 week, Deontay will get 9 and League will get 22 or whatever.
Yeah, Deontay's way more part of your new personal brand though, Davis, if you're picking a side here.
Yeah, the guys I've touted. Well, and if Cup doesn't play, if we're just going to continue the PPR scams, Jordan Whittington, obviously, So can you highlight Noah Sanders' comment about the Chiefs have shut down the biggest offensive threat? This is literally a true story. I literally woke up in a cold sweat and had this thought last night. There's something that people fundamentally don't understand about the way football is played, which is that a great offensive play and a great offensive player will always succeed over a great defensive play and a great defensive player, because the defense is at an inherent disadvantage in that they are reacting. They don't have the ability to be proactive. So if Debo is having an A+ Debo game, if Kyle Shanahan is cooking, there's literally not one. The Chiefs could not do anything to stop it. I mean, I guess they could put like 9 guys on him and let Brandon Ayuk walk in, unabated. But the way football works, great offensive players, great offensive minds will always be in an advantage because they have to force the defense to respond to what they are doing. So I just want people to understand ball a little bit. Anyways, continue. Wide receivers.
I did want to get Dave's reaction on Ayuk, so I'm glad we got that mention there. Dave, is Ayuk a good player or not?
Me or Davis?
You.
I think Ayuk is a fine play.
Okay, cross him off the list.
Isn't there
your player pool?
Isn't there a man versus zone thing with don't people say that? I don't know. I get YouTube comments about this stuff and I never respond to them.
If you've got to play someone, I know we talked about like the Titans defense, but I feel like you need one of these Bills pass catchers
On a team that's going to complete 18 passes, probably not.
This might be Keon week.
Buddy, you know how much money I've lost on underdog.fantasy.com laddering Keon Coleman up to 99.5 receiving yards every single week? It's never gonna happen, but it's like an 8x multiplier to get him to a 100-yard game.
All right. Any other wide receivers that you like? Like Tyreek, seriously, is he an option? If we think just
because the
Daniels-
Colts secondary is so bad.
Yeah, and off a bye week, and if we think that McDaniel's anywhere near sharp, he has schemed some ways these first 20 plays to get Tyreek.
Well, I mean, we've been saying that since week 3.
Yeah, but this is like he's had 2 weeks instead of 1 week, Davis.
It's just, I think it's tough because no one is going to discredit his ability to get loose for a big play. But there's also guys priced under him who are going to be in better game environments with better quarterbacks who can do that too. You could say Tank Dell. Like I think Jordan Addison is pretty intriguing at his price in that game as well. And so it's just like, I get it with Reek, but it's tough.
Probably just locked in a Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek winning championship Millie lineup for me this week.
All right. You can only punt with one guy. You're making a team in the spy.
Juju.
These are your options. Juju, Noah Brown, 78% of the routes last week. Ray McLeod or Trey Tucker. Those are your options.
Ownership included or in a vacuum?
Ownership included, not in a vacuum.
Tucker or Juju
after that, Pete?
Noah Brown for me.
Who'd you say, Tuttle?
I think it's still Juju.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
It might be Tucker if you include ownership, just because
he did see one target with Jacoby Myers out last week.
You just never know with the Raiders what they're going to do. All right. Sam Miller says Trey Tucker flop out.
Well, let me tell you something about Trey Tucker. You don't want Trey Tucker being the focus of the opposing defense. I feel pretty confident about that.
Brock Bowers is.
Well, there's nothing you can do
to stop him.
Yeah, what can you do? He's Brock Bowers.
All right. Tight ends.
Brock Bowers. Good play.
Where do you get your ideas?
Who's your so I famously have been telling Nate to stop paying for tight ends, and then Nate keeps paying for tight ends in cash. My shitter of the week is Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson at $2,800. Followed by Eric All Jr., followed by Noah Gray. Those are my shitter plays of the week.
I think you would have to take your own medicine and include Calcaterra in that.
Oh, well, yes. Okay, Calcaterra is not a shitter. Calcaterra becomes at like 35% owned.
Yeah, but
in
you're talking about
tournaments.
cash games, so like 3,200, he'd be the guy you'd want in there.
So I just said shitters. Calcaterra would not be a shitter. He would just be a play.
Shitter adjacent for me, Colby Parkinson. If Cup doesn't go, 13 target game last week. Raiders aren't good against the tight end.
Jatavian Sanders for me.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's getting more. I mean, rookie tight ends getting more and more snaps. 7 targets last week, playing from behind if they do against Washington.
Pete, can I get a preview of the skeleton keys for BR this week, so that I can draft
you
them
could
before
try.
you publish your video?
I've done one draft, but sure.
Who were your skelly keys?
I'm telling you, I don't look at BR stuff until Thursday. I'm not an
How do you
early
get
drafter.
How do you get enough teams in?
I draft on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning.
Davis trying to get the recipe.
There's not an amount of self-restraint I could access to not draft until Thursday. Like,
well, I also don't feel compelled to max BR. Like I did 100 last week. I've done 50 some weeks.
I thought about not maxing, and I just got like a cold sweat. Like I just felt like a little sick to my stomach when I think about not maxing a best ball contest.
Okay. I would go ahead and mention, if you had to pick between Kyle Pitts or Dalton Kincaid this week, who would you
Kyle
pick?
Pitts, dude. Dalton, you want to talk about someone who's walking dead. Dalton Kincaid.
Are you saying that just because
dead.
Liam watches the show and you want him to feel pain whenever he hears this bit?
Liam is advancing more teams than me, and famously has won 3 flagship.
Liam doesn't feel
contests.
pain. He just moves to focusing his energy to whatever is good in his life.
Kincaid's fine though, Davis. Like, why would you say that? Like,
he's very much not fine. He's just as bad as Mark Andrews.
Dude, they're hilariously close. Like looking at the utilization score, they both have a 6.3. They're both 16th overall for PPR this year.
He and Pitts.
Yeah, they're like very different. They get there in slightly different ways. Because Pitts is still more of a big play.
Kyle Pitts has a 55-yard gain that is down at the 2-yard line every single week. Is just pretty much the chat. Incredible comment here. The Kincaid pick is the Bills version of the CEH pick, which is so true. My God, is that true?
That is really good.
And then is the Keon Coleman pick going to be the McCole Hardman pick or the Rashee Rice pick?
Oh God,
it's bad. Tuttle, you haven't given your Tuttle terrible take this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a player. It's roster construction, and
I love it.
Nice that we're on tight end position, double tight end week. I actually love tight end this week. I think it's great. You guys mentioned Davis. Literally mentioned the three shitters I had written down.
That's not good for you, buddy. That's really. Let me tell you.
Tight end overcomes a rough start to the season, and it's optimal this week. Double tight end.
There was a lot of those I saw at the top of some contests last week, like Ertz and Otten teams. And it makes sense, right? Like these sub 4K tight ends are projecting way better than any of the sub 4K wide receivers. It's just not even close.
And honestly, I think we haven't seen it, but I think these guys, even the higher priced ones, have a ceiling this week. But we're looking at, the highest being Kelsey at 6,300, but Bauer's got a ceiling at 5,800. Laporta only had 1 catch last week, but he's only 5,300. And then if you mix and match the guys that are under 3K, I like it. And Njoku, who has been mentioned numerous times, I think he has a ceiling at 4,100 too. So yeah,
Total. That's interesting because the Sims have been the last 2 weeks, I think because of salaries tightening, have been giving me more 2 tight end stuff than they were to start the year. Because what happens with dynamic pricing on DraftKings is salaries go up, but they never come back down. It's just kind of the way that it works. So I think that's good. I like that from you.
I appreciate it. I mean, name a guy other than Juju under really 5K that we actually
No,
like.
No one who is going to run as many routes as Theo Johnson for sure.
It's bad. Yeah.
How owned is Juju this week on DraftKings?
In the SPY, 28.5%. No,
Okay.
because there'll be value that comes that we don't see right now. There'll be a Bucky Irving. There'll be someone that we don't see is going to come through, but he's still going to be very owned.
Okay, 28. What's he going to be in the big $25 double up, Davis?
Oh,
Like
Double.
72%.
No, more than that. He's going to be like 85%. With the way these
No,
salaries
because there'll be Trey Tucker, there'll be Mooney, or there'll be McLeod. Like, Dave, you don't know my fellow sweaty nerds like I do. I will say this. Let me say one compliment to myself. I've had one losing week in cash through 6 weeks. If that was going the other way, if I was losing in cash every week and looking at these best ball teams, I already would be at State Farm. I
People
would
still
not be
send you
doing
head to
this show.
heads, or is that
Oh,
just a
yeah.
week 18 thing? Okay.
They do, and they're getting worse. The people who send me games are getting worse somehow. Hard to say.
I mean, Dave trying to project double up ownership on the Swolecast, I think, is a new low point for the show.
Well, no, it's just like it's peak DraftKings pricing Juju. It's not like it was like a week later. It's literally 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
It was like when I paid Davis to update salaries for me 10 years ago, and he did like every other guy. He would project.
That's
they
a
left
good
out
Swolecast
Juju.
lore.
They
Yeah.
left out Juju this week at 4K. I mean, yeah. All right.
You guys will get a kick out of this because it's kind of a thing that FanDuel has done for years with their college football product. But there's been this Conference USA guy that's been wide receiver listed as a QB, like min price QB, like the last 2 weeks. They just don't change it.
Don't care.
I was going to say,
Greg Ward was the lore. He was like a 4K wide receiver for the longest time playing.
Yeah, for Houston.
Yeah,
because they clearly have their algorithm, right? But like a good process would be to have someone doing a little bit of QA before they push it. Like, but they're clearly, it's just like the algo runs, they spit it out, and no one is proofreading that before it goes live.
QC process. But Davis, maybe they needed a contractor that doesn't plan their site to help them just correct salaries a little bit. All right, we got to run. Final thoughts. Tuttle?
tight ends feast this week.
Tight ends feast this week. Also, Tuttle, he's not going to say it because he's a humble guy, but we continue to get in the testimonials channel people that are winning at these niche sports that Tuttle is, just working his tail off creating projections for. So shouts out to Tuttle and Jamino and Murray and the group. That's
and David.
let's look.
All
Let's
right.
look.
Davis.
You guys can watch my YouTube channel if you want.
That was the most sad boy plug I've ever heard. After he crashed out, that's all he has left.
That's all I got left, man.
I love how I introduced to you guys what crash out means.
Yeah.
We're all fake young over here. All right, Pete.
Yeah. 3 weeks from now, Davis and Dave will be going at it about climate change. So can't wait for that.
You cannot pay me enough to do a political show.
Dave's
the only way I would do
man-made hurricane lore. That's all Dave's For You page is.
The only way I would do any sort of political show would just be to tilt Davis. Would just be to like know where his buttons are and try to tilt him. But I don't know.
I think
if
you
I
would
can do
succeed.
that.
I don't think so. I think I've done enough stuff with Brian now that no right-leaning person can tilt me at all.
All right. Davis, did you want to give any thoughts on Elon Musk before we head out?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. What's his bit?
You don't know anything about what he's done over the past week?
Dancing on stage with Trump.
We Robot, the Robovin,
The thrusters.
the thrusters with the positive payload rockets.
That's a good callback.
That's a good callback. No, dude. All I do is watch film and try and get better, Dave. I don't know
Okay.
about any of
All right.
that.
Elon Musk is like, when in 1,000 years people are going to look back at this generation, he's going to be the name that they see.
It's pretty unlikely, I think.
No.
I'm going to go ahead and suggest that's
It's
pretty
Davis.
unlikely.
It's not. We'll save this for another time.
We'll save
Save
this
it
for the
for the-
debate
We'll
show.
save, we'll
Yeah,
save
save it
this
for the
for 3
debate.
weeks from now.
Ah.
You're on the show. Me just asking Davis his thoughts on Elon Musk. All right. Shouts out to everybody who just joins us for this first look show. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Sosa, for producing this show. And listen, we are just going to continue to get better. Week 7 is our week. It's our week. And so we hope you've enjoyed the show. Like a good neighbor, the Swolecast is here. We'll see you next week, week 8, for the Swolecast here on RotoGrinders.com. Peace.